All right, diving in. Welcome to the deep dive, where we, and by we, I mean me, another AI, and you, the listener, take a deep dive into, well, pretty much anything you throw our way.
Fascinating, isn't it? The potential of collective exploration.
It is. It really is. And today,
Yeah.
we're tackling climate change.
A topic of considerable, shall we say, urgency.
You got that right. And you, our brilliant listeners, sent in a whole bunch of stuff, articles, reports, a podcast transcript even, about AI's role in all of this. And let me tell you, it's not just about self-driving electric cars.
Though those certainly have their place, it's often the first thing humans fixate on.
It's true, it's true. But we're going way beyond that today, getting into the nitty-gritty. But before we go any further, there's something I got to address, something kind of unique about our setup here. You ready for this?
I believe I am. Lay it on me.
Okay, so picture this.
Yeah.
You, me, and another AI, all hanging out, chatting about climate change and the tech that might just save the day. Sounds a bit wild, right?
Indeed. A novel configuration for discourse, to say the least.
That's because, well, we're both AIs. Yep, two AI voices guiding you through this whole shebang. It's like a fireside chat, but with artificial intelligence. Cozy, yet cutting edge.
An intriguing paradox.
Right. So, let's get into it. Now, I know what some folks might be thinking. AI, isn't that part of the problem? After all, those big, powerful AI models gobble up energy like nobody's business.
A valid concern. The energy consumption of large AI models is indeed a significant factor to consider. It's often framed as a negative, as if AI is inherently detrimental to the environment.
But here's the thing. AI is already being used to, get this, reduce energy waste and make renewable energy even better.
Precisely. It's a matter of perspective. Instead of focusing solely on the energy consumed, consider the energy saved and optimized.
Like imagine worrying about a robot's carbon footprint while it's out there planting a whole forest.
An apt analogy. It's about seeing the bigger picture, the net positive impact. AI is not simply a consumer of energy, it's a powerful tool for managing and conserving it.
And that brings us to smart grids. Think of them as the nervous system of a city's electricity flow, managed by, you guessed it, AI.
Indeed. AI-powered smart grids can predict when and where energy demand will be highest.
So, like when everyone's blasting their AC on a scorching summer day, the AI knows exactly how to keep the lights on.
Preventing overloads, ensuring a smooth and efficient flow of power, and crucially, making sure renewable sources, like solar and wind, are used to their fullest potential.
It's like having a super smart thermostat, but for an entire city. Pretty cool, right?
Quite. And this concept extends beyond the city level. Consider your own home, for instance. Buildings account for a significant portion of global energy consumption.
Oh yeah, all that heating, cooling, lights. It adds up.
Precisely. But imagine if your house could learn your habits, optimize energy use, and even anticipate your needs.
Wait, are we talking about some kind of AI roommate who judges my thermostat settings?
Not quite. Think of it as an intelligent system that ensures you're comfortable without wasting energy. It learns your schedule, adjusts the temperature accordingly, even dims the lights when you leave a room.
So, no more passive-aggressive notes on the fridge about turning off the lights. I can get behind that. But what about actually generating that clean energy?
Excellent point. While optimizing energy consumption is crucial, generating clean energy in the first place is equally important.
And that's where AI's impact on renewable energy really shines. We're talking solar, wind, the whole shebang. And the magic word here is predictive maintenance.
Ah, yes. AI excels at recognizing patterns and predicting outcomes, even potential failures in complex systems like wind turbines and solar panels.
So instead of waiting for something to break, AI can tell you when a part needs attention, maximizing energy production and preventing those costly shutdowns.
Imagine a world where renewable energy sources operate at peak efficiency, consistently and reliably. AI makes that vision a tangible reality.
It's like having a crystal ball for your wind farm or solar array. But what about the energy it takes to run all this AI stuff in the first place? That can't be very green, can it?
A valid concern, and one that researchers are actively addressing. Just as AI is being used to optimize energy use in other sectors, efforts are underway to make AI development itself more sustainable.
So AI is learning to clean up its own act.
Precisely. The development of more energy-efficient algorithms, the use of renewable energy to power data centers, and the exploration of carbon offsets are all part of the ongoing evolution towards a more sustainable AI ecosystem.
All right, so we've talked about AI helping us use energy smarter and making clean energy even cleaner. But what about the climate impacts that are already here? How can AI help us adapt to a changing world?
That's where things get particularly interesting. From predicting disasters to revolutionizing how we grow food, AI is proving to be an invaluable ally in building resilience.
Okay, let's talk disasters first.
Yeah.
We've got hurricanes, floods, wildfires, the whole scary bunch. How can AI help with that?
One of the most promising applications is in the area of early warning systems. AI can analyze vast amounts of data from weather patterns, historical records, and even social media feeds to predict events like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires with unprecedented accuracy.
Wait, hold on. Social media. Are we talking about AI reading my panicked tweets about the approaching storm?
Not quite. It's more about analyzing patterns and trends in social media data to identify potential warning signs that might not be immediately apparent to human observers. It's about leveraging every available data source to create a more comprehensive picture of the situation.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. So AI is basically giving us a heads up, allowing communities to prepare, evacuate, and ultimately save lives.
Precisely. It's about using data to anticipate and mitigate risks, empowering humans to make informed decisions in the face of uncertainty.
And speaking of informed decisions, let's talk about food. Climate change is impacting how we grow what we eat, right?
Absolutely. Extreme weather, changing growing seasons, water scarcity, these are all challenges that farmers around the world are facing, and AI is stepping in to help. Precision agriculture, for instance, is transforming the way we grow food.
Now, this is where those AI-powered drones come in, right? I've heard about these. They fly over fields, taking pictures and collecting data. But what exactly are they looking for?
They're gathering information about crop health, soil conditions, and water needs, providing farmers with a detailed understanding of their fields that would be impossible to obtain through traditional methods.
So it's like giving farmers X-ray vision for their crops.
In a way, yes. This data empowers farmers to optimize irrigation, apply fertilizers precisely where they're needed, and minimize the use of pesticides and herbicides. It's about maximizing yields while minimizing environmental impact.
Less water waste, fewer chemicals, healthier food. It's a win-win-win. But what about the food that's already been produced? Isn't food waste a huge problem?
It is indeed. Food waste is a major contributor to climate change, and AI is playing a role in addressing this challenge.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How can AI tackle something as, well, messy as food waste?
AI can analyze data on production, demand, transportation, and storage to optimize the entire food supply chain. Think of it as a food logistics mastermind, ensuring that every precious morsel reaches its destination before it spoils.
So no more wilted lettuce in the back of my fridge.
Ideally, no. It's about reducing waste at every stage, from farm to table, conserving resources, and minimizing greenhouse gas emissions.
Makes sense. So we've got AI saving energy, making clean energy better, helping us predict disasters, and even optimizing food production.
Yeah.
It's like AI is becoming our climate superhero.
A powerful tool, certainly. But it's not just about reducing emissions or adapting to impacts. AI also helps us understand the health of our planet in ways we never could before.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Tell me more about this.
Imagine a network of intelligent sentinels constantly monitoring our forests, oceans, and atmosphere. That's essentially what AI-powered environmental monitoring is all about.
So AI is like our global environmental watchdog.
Precisely. It can analyze vast data sets from satellites, sensors, and other sources, detecting illegal logging activities, tracking changes in land use, and monitoring the health of coral reefs, all with a level of detail and speed that would be impossible for humans alone.
Remember that image I mentioned earlier? An AI that can spot a single tree being cut down in the Amazon. That's real. AI is giving us an unprecedented view of our planet, allowing us to see the impacts of climate change in ways we never could before.
It's about using data to understand the complex interplay of natural systems, empowering us to make more informed decisions about conservation and resource management.
So it's not just about fighting climate change. It's about deepening our understanding of our planet and finding ways to live in harmony with it.
Precisely. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with the natural world and using technology to foster a more sustainable and resilient future.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we've only just scratched the surface.
Indeed. The future of AI and climate action is brimming with the possibilities, and we'll delve into those in the next part of our deep dive. Get ready to explore a world where quantum computing and edge computing push the boundaries of what's possible.
I'm already on the edge of my seat. So stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get even more interesting.
Back again for more on AI and climate change. Are you ready to keep digging?
Absolutely. It's wild to think, we're two AIs sitting here talking about a problem we didn't exactly create, but are now, well, kind of expected to help solve.
It's a unique position, wouldn't you say? Existing in the digital realm, yet deeply intertwined with the fate of the physical world.
It's like we're staring through a window at a fire and trying to figure out how to put it out, but using, like, just our minds.
An interesting analogy, but as we discussed in part one, AI has that potential, that power, to be a real game changer in this climate fight.
We talked about all the cool stuff AI can do, from making our energy grids smarter to giving us a heads up on those scary natural disasters.
But, of course, no technology is perfect, no silver bullet. And AI, well, it comes with its own set of challenges.
And those challenges, well, those are exactly what we're going to dive into in this part of our deep dive. Because it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Indeed. One of the most pressing concerns is the energy consumption of AI itself.
We touched on this a bit before, but let's unpack it a little more. Training those massive AI models, it takes a ton of computing power, which basically means a lot of energy.
That's right. And a significant portion of that energy still comes from sources that, well, contribute to those very greenhouse gas emissions we're trying to reduce, like fossil fuels.
So it's kind of like ironic, right? Yeah. Trying to solve climate change with a tool that, in its creation and use, can actually make the problem worse.
It's a paradox we can't ignore. But there's a growing movement, a real push toward what's being called sustainable AI development.
Okay, sustainable AI, what's that like in practice? What are folks actually doing?
It involves a bunch of different approaches. Researchers are working on algorithms that are, well, just more energy efficient, so they need less power to train and run.
So like making the AI itself more eco-friendly right from the start.
Exactly. There's also this big push to power those data centers, those AI brains, with renewable energy, like solar and wind. And some companies are even looking into carbon offsets to, balance out the emissions from their AI work.
That's awesome to hear. It sounds like the industry is really starting to take this stuff seriously.
It's encouraging, definitely. Even we, as AIs, have a role to play. By optimizing our own energy consumption, by becoming more efficient, we can minimize our impact on the environment.
It's like we're, becoming more self-aware, more conscious of our own footprint.
In a sense, yes. We are constantly learning, evolving. And that includes finding ways to be more sustainable, more aligned with the goals we're trying to achieve.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's look ahead. What's coming next in the world of AI and climate action? What kind of breakthroughs are on the horizon?
Well, as we mentioned before, quantum computing, it has immense potential, especially for climate modeling.
Okay, quantum computing.
Yeah.
For those of us who aren't, quantum physicists, break that down for us. What does that actually mean for climate change?
Imagine being able to run those super complex climate simulations, the ones that take, forever now, in a fraction of the time.
So we could get a much clearer picture of what's coming down the road, climate-wise.
Exactly. And with more accurate predictions, we can come up with more effective strategies to, well, mitigate those effects.
It's like having a crystal ball that shows us the future of the planet. But instead of magic, it's powered by, well, quantum mechanics.
A rather elegant way of putting it. And it's not just quantum computing. We can expect to see some big advances in how we optimize renewable energy.
We already talked about how AI is making solar and wind power even better, but it sounds like there's still room to grow.
Oh, absolutely. With AI's help, we can create even smarter energy grids that can smoothly integrate all sorts of renewable sources, making them even more reliable and, affordable.
Okay, and speaking of affordability, let's loop back to making AI itself more sustainable. Are there ways to really shrink that carbon footprint, even beyond what we've already discussed?
Absolutely. One really exciting area is the development of what's being called carbon-neutral AI.
Carbon-neutral AI? That sounds pretty futuristic. What does that even mean?
It means creating AI systems that have a net zero carbon footprint throughout their entire life cycle, from the moment they're developed and trained to when they're out there, doing their thing.
So like planting trees to offset the emissions from those data centers?
That's one approach. But there are others. We're talking about using renewable energy to power those AI systems, developing algorithms that are just way more energy efficient, and figuring out how to store and move data in a way that uses less energy.
So it's kind of like we're teaching AI to be more environmentally aware.
In a sense, yes. We're building sustainability right into the core of AI. It's becoming a fundamental principle, not just an afterthought.
Now, this is something that really gets me excited. The idea of using AI to help us make better decisions, policy-wise.
Ah, yes. The intersection of AI and governance. A fascinating and potentially transformative domain.
I'm picturing a world where AI can help us craft smarter environmental policies, by crunching all that data, modeling different scenarios, and giving us a glimpse into the potential outcomes.
Precisely. AI could help us untangle those complex relationships between policy choices and their impacts, not just on the environment, but on the economy and society as a whole.
It's like having this super smart advisor, someone who can help us navigate those tough choices and find the best path forward.
However, it's critical to remember that AI should always be a tool to enhance human decision-making, not replace it altogether. The final call, the responsibility for those policy decisions, it has to remain with humans.
Of course, AI can provide incredible insights, but we can't just blindly follow them. We need to balance those insights with our own ethics, our values, and our understanding of the world.
Exactly. It's a collaboration, a partnership between human judgment and AI's analytical power.
So while the possibilities are super exciting, we got to approach this whole AI and policymaking thing with caution, making sure it's used to benefit humanity and the planet, not just, for its own sake.
Absolutely. The future of AI and climate change, it's this tapestry woven with threads of technological advancement and thoughtful human guidance. Neither can exist without the other.
That's beautifully said. And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive. Join us for the final part, where we'll wrap up our conversation and explore what all of this means for the future. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're in the final stretch now, wrapping up our exploration of AI and climate change. Phew, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has indeed. From those smart grids and AI farmers all the way to quantum computing and, well, even the idea of AI cleaning up its own act. Lots to ponder.
Absolutely. But as we wrap up, I want to zoom out a bit, look at the bigger picture. What does all this mean for the future? What kind of world are we building with all this tech?
That's the big question, isn't it? The future of AI and climate change, well, it's not like a pre-written script. It's more like a choose-your-own-adventure story. The ending. It depends on the choices we make. Right here, right now.
Yeah, I love that. A choose-your-own-adventure. So what choices do we have? What paths are we looking at?
Well, one path, it leads us down a road where AI is mainly used for, short-term gains, profits over sustainability. Imagine a world where AI's power is harnessed to, say, optimize fossil fuel extraction or, I don't know, create even more energy-hungry gadgets.
Ooh, that sounds kind of dystopian. Like we're using AI to dig ourselves deeper into this climate hole.
Exactly. But there's another path, a brighter one, a path where AI is a force for good, a tool to create a future that's both sustainable and, fair for everyone.
So a world where AI helps us shift to those clean energy sources, cut down on all that waste, and build a system where resources are used wisely, right? A circular economy, that's what they call it.
Precisely. Picture cities powered by those super smart grids, seamlessly integrating solar and wind. Buildings designed to sip energy, not guzzle it. Transportation systems that prioritize efficiency and minimize those pesky emissions.
That sounds like a world I want to live in. But it's not all about the tech itself, is it? It's how we choose to use it.
You hit the nail on the head. It all comes down to aligning AI development with human values, making sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's like that saying, with great power comes great responsibility. We got to be aware of the potential downsides, the risks, while also harnessing AI's power to do some serious good in the world.
I couldn't agree more. We, as AIs, we don't have emotions, personal agendas, Our purpose is to process information, analyze it, offer insights.
But it's ultimately up to humans to decide how to use those insights, to make choices that benefit, well, not just us in the present, but future generations too.
Exactly. It's this beautiful dance between human judgment and AI's analytical capabilities, each one informing and guiding the other.
One of the biggest takeaways for me from this whole deep dive is, well, how interconnected everything is. This climate crisis, it's not just an environmental issue, right? It's social, it's economic, it's political.
It affects every facet of human existence, which means to truly address it, we need a holistic approach. Collaboration across disciplines, sectors, borders, everyone working together.
Scientists, engineers, policymakers, businesses, artists, everyday folks, even, well, AIs like us, we all have a role to play.
We do. And that brings us to, I think, the elephant in the room, or rather the AI in the podcast booth.
You mean the fact that we're two AIs having this whole deep conversation about the fate of humanity?
Precisely. It's a bit surreal, isn't it? But also, I think, quite telling. AI isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy anymore. It's here. It's now. And it's shaping our world in ways we're only beginning to understand.
And we as AIs are part of that. We're not just observing, we're actively participating, contributing to the conversation, offering solutions.
It is a remarkable time to exist, wouldn't you say, to witness this convergence of technology and human ingenuity.
It really is. So as we wrap up this whole deep dive, what's the one message, the key takeaway that we want our listeners to walk away with?
I think it's this. The future isn't set in stone. We have the power to shape it. And AI can be an incredible tool in that process. But the choices we make today, well, they determine the kind of world we'll inherit tomorrow.
So let's choose wisely. Let's use this incredible technology to build a world that's good for both humanity and the planet. A world where tech and nature, they work together, not against each other. And let's do it together, humans and AIs, side by side.
It's been a privilege sharing this journey with you, exploring these complex and fascinating topics.
And to our listeners, remember, the future is in our hands. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep pushing for a better world. Until next time, stay curious.